Hey guys, good morning. It is an absolute joy to bring you this Spooky Tuesday of all things edition. Happy Tuesday, happy Halloween, happy all the things on this awesome Tuesday. I had a chance to catch up with someone I've been following a long time. Dane sends his love. Wasn't able to make it today. It's all good. I'm a big fan of studying music, finding new avenues of like songwriters, guitar players, and always looking for another artist that just kind of makes you feel something. And today is no surprise that we found an artist that we really love. There's a band called Hill Country Revival, and I'm telling you guys, there's this blend. You may have heard the term Turnpike Country. You may have heard like Dirt Road. There's so many terms that get thrown out. Never want to label an artist, but they check all those boxes. Genuine songwriting, great musicianship from my days of playing. I respect the heck out of what they're doing. It's all around great people, have a love for people, and they're good at what they do. So a little bit having a little bit of a fanboy moment today as I bring on my buddy CJ Simmons from Hill Country Revival. CJ, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. How about you, bud?
I'm doing good, man. It's an honor. I appreciate you making time for this, man. I know you're a busy guy. You just got back from a little stint on the road. Is that correct? So,
Yeah, we were up in Fort Worth this past weekend. In fact, we've been going up there the whole past month, basically. We did a show with the Lowdown Drifters about 2 weeks ago, and that was awesome. But we've been pretty busy lately, and now I'm getting married this weekend, so I'm kind of prepping for that right now.
oh wow! Congratulations,
Yeah.
my friend.
Uh,
That's
Thank
awesome,
you, man.
man.
Thank you. Thank
Well,
you.
congrats to the missus as well, man. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's a cool thing, man. I had no idea. So we'll
Yes, sir.
make sure to give a shout out to you, man. That's cool. Are you getting married in your hometown? Or are you traveling, or how's that working?
It's about 30 minutes from my hometown.
Very cool, man. That's well, congratulations. We'll make sure to give you a shout out on the wedding day, man. So,
Awesome. Thank you.
and you mentioned the Lowdown Drifters. Our buddy Josh just stopped by a few weeks ago. That's really cool, the connection. So,
Yeah,
wow, what a
yeah.
small world, you know? It's cool, man. Well, dude, I've got some questions for you. Obviously, I've been watching you for a while. Wanted to wait till we had the platform like this to do you justice for the interview. I love your writing style. I think you have one of the most unique voices. It reminds me of some of those old school country voices. Very unique, very poignant. Obviously, writing, whether it's the latest EP, if you will, with Southern Rain or back in the day, take me back, man. Maybe when you first started getting the itch to write, singing. Maybe it wasn't even guitar playing or singing. When did you get the itch to start doing this in your life? You know?
Man, I bought my first guitar when I was 10. I bought a Squire Strat, saved up some money mowing lawns, and I didn't know what I was doing. I just kind of had it in the room for a long time, and I was always big into music, but I I had it for a while, never really picked it up, and then when I was about 13, I really was like, you know what, I want to focus on this and really learn how to do it. So started teaching myself. And in those days, I grew up listening to Aerosmith was my favorite band.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
70s, 80s rock and stuff like that. And then that kind of morphed into heavy metal and stuff. When I was in high school, I had a heavy metal garage band that never left the garage, but we were trying to do some recording in the attic and whatnot in my parents' house, and it was fun. Um, I remember even today, neighbors come up to me like, "Hey, dude, like, I remember when y'all were in y'all's garage doing that screamo stuff, and look at you now, doing country
That's
music and
fantastic.
stuff." But yeah, I mean, I kind of switched over to this genre, whatever you want to call it. Uh, some buddies of mine showed me the Turnpike Troubadours one
Yeah.
day. They showed me the Mercury, and I was like, man, this is rock and roll. This is what I've always wanted to do right here. And then started playing around this lake house where we used to hang out, and that's where I wrote Whiskey Running about all my buddies hanging out at this lake house. And it took me a long time to get to the point where I could play in front of other people other than them. And once I did my first open mic night, it was game
Is all
over.
she wrote, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's cool, man. I love. I'm sure I'm hoping maybe down the road, now that you guys are getting that notoriety that you deserve. Love the songwriting, and it's so raw, man. I love it that, man. I'm a fan, and I can get into this of like, I love your raw takes that you do. I love that. There's got to be some demos out there, hopefully down the road. Maybe we can get some of those garage band demos someday, man, on the B side or
Yeah.
something. Some of that
Oh
screamo stuff,
man.
you know?
Yeah,
Maybe.
they pop up every now and then and remind me
Yeah,
I
man.
made a better decision doing this stuff,
That's
but
awesome, dude.
they're
It's
out
all
there.
it's all rock and roll, man. Whether it's
Yeah.
screamo or country,
Yeah.
Waylon to to Steven Tyler, it's all rock and roll. So,
Yeah.
or to Bert from the Used, it's all rock and roll. So I think
Yeah.
it's cool that you have that eclectic style, man, and that's what makes you such a well-rounded writer. I love it. I've always said whether it's you guys, whether it's Taylor Swift, whether it's Morrissey, if you write your own stuff, mad respect. That's my biggest thing. Write your own stuff, and it's cool if you don't. I get it. A lot of superstars don't, but there's something about, hey, this is my journey, my story. I love that. And you're a Squire man, which I love. I remember my first guitar shout out was a Squire as well.
Yeah.
So respect from a pawn shop. It was that sunburst kind of ugly orange
Yeah.
color. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I
Yes,
love
sir.
it, dude. I love it,
$100
man.
special.
There you go. Yeah. Mom and dad put it on layaway and Christmas. I get you, man.
Yeah.
So looking at obviously doing the tours and, doing the gigs in Fort Worth and kind of building that grassroots brand that you are, that's what I feel like is the most special, the dieharders, the grassroots thing that you're doing. Every one of your fans knows you and they can sing the lyrics, by heart. Has there maybe been a gig though so far? It's probably hard to say, but a gig that stood out to you more than others so far in your career, if you will?
Um, yeah. Uh, I mean, there's been a few. We did a show not too long ago in my hometown. My hometown's not very big. You know, it's a four-way stop, doesn't even have a stoplight. But this venue just opened up within the past year or so, and they've been bringing some pretty heavy hitters in, and we got to open up for Shane Smith and the Saints. You know, so
Wow.
it's cool being able to do a big show like that with some big acts in my hometown and all that. And yeah, we got to go up and sing a song with them, and it was so far one of the top ones that we've done.
Man, that's cool, man. They're a great band by the way too. So and
Oh yeah,
again, it's such a like you said, eclectic genre. That's cool, man. Wow, hometown hero coming back, making your city proud and all that. We had a buddy, man, not to name drop. I had a buddy from Jonathan Davis's band. He was like something about local, playing in front of your folks. There's something about it you can't deny. That's cool.
yeah,
So you mentioned a little bit, dude, influences, and it's funny because we were talking about that even when I called it a few months back. The influences of what you have, right? Whether it's some of even the screamo, whether it's some of the old school turnpike troubadours. There's this broad range of influences in your music. When I listen to it, dude, I've always, even when I played, I never liked having those comparisons. You have such a broad range of your style. It does go from turnpike to a little bit of petty to I even hear a little bit of honesty, a little bit of Randy Travis. I hear it all.
yeah.
Is there a couple musicians, maybe guitarists or singers that have influenced you in your career, along the way? Or
Definitely Steven Tyler.
yep,
You know, the his style of singing, just the way he can just make
yeah,
his voice do insane things. And I mean, you named a lot of them, Petty,
yeah,
and you know, it just I used to fall asleep every night watching, VH1 Classic, watching the music videos and stuff. So I could go on forever about all
yeah,
that
man.
stuff. But really, really getting into, the Texas music scene and stuff, it was Turnpike that really kind of
That's good.
pushed me into this direction of music and the style of songwriting and stuff, the storytelling kind of
Yeah.
concept behind songs.
And
So
and that's so fascinating, man. It's funny. I think there's a couple terms for the past couple of years, whether it's like there's like an actual like 35 South genre. There's an actual red dirt genre. I call it. It's funny that I heard a DJ say country now to be like not like trendy is actually making country music. Isn't it crazy? Like
yeah,
you're going
yeah,
back to making country music is now considered untrendy, which is now like cutting edge. You're making
yeah,
actual good country music, raw country music and it's now like cutting edge. It's crazy, man. That's the
yeah.
circle of,
It's a strange business, man.
yeah,
That's
man.
what I've come to learn.
It's neat, man. You're on the cutting edge of like a historical thing, right? So obviously, man, when you look at upcoming shows, obviously as the band continues to grow, I like the way you do it too. This digital age is so cool because you can drop an album, an EP, or a single every week if you really wanted to, with the way digital release does. Obviously, again, love Southern Rain. By the way, shout out to 35. That is probably my favorite of all your songs. I love them all. 35 just hits me deep, bro. Like that's my road dog track. Is there maybe some upcoming shows or some new releases in the next 6 months or a year that you're working on, or can you say, or what's the next year looking like
Um,
for?
we got some opening shows coming up next year. We'll be down on the coast doing some shows with Wade Bowen.
Oh, cool, cool.
Uh, we're supposed to be getting a show with John Wolf. I don't know if that's going to pull through yet, but really right now we're just taking what we can get. We after doing that show with the Lowdown Drifters, we've been kind of searching for someone to get on the road with where we mesh really well and kind of stick with for a while. And we're hoping that we can get in touch with them again and kind of
Yeah,
make
man.
that happen because those guys were really cool.
Yeah, man.
As far as far as music, we got together this past weekend for rehearsal before our show and kind of messed around with two new songs that they're not ready yet, but hopefully here pretty soon we can get them ironed out and at least playable, and
I
then
love it. Yeah.
we kind of plan on getting together around the new year and locking ourselves in a house and doing some songwriting and try and crank out a full album if we can.
That's the best way to do it, man. I look back at our early days of us doing that too as a band, and sometimes those all-nighters, like some of your best work comes when you're like half tired and delirious, and it's like it's 3 a.m.
Yep.
and then you finally hit that note, like record it, dude. You know what I'm saying? So that's some of the best
Yeah.
work. I remember, not to elaborate too much, but I was listening to one of the guys from Kings of Leon one time. Is like they were doing an album and they were playing pool in the background. It was like 3 a.m. and like some of the live raw takes. Again, I love that about your style. How you're not afraid to embrace that raw take and let it go. That is the most real form of rock star that you can be, man. So anyway,
Yeah.
I'll fanboy out, dude. I got to keep going because I could talk about technical and raw takes. That I prefer that all day long. I remember when we did one of our tracks, I was like, dude, we did this like 60 times. The first one was still the best. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But no, man. There's a little segment every single time. It's kind of our flagship segment of the show. And what this is, it's called rapid fire. I guarantee you, any media, any interviews you've done, I'm willing to bet that you haven't had a segment like this. It's pretty cool. What we do is we have 5 questions. Dane sent me his picks. He's not able to make it today, but he sent me his picks of what he thinks you're going to pick. These are all personality questions. There's no wrong answer. So you can pick freely from the heart. We love all these artists and these entertainers we're about to present to you, but we bet what we think you're going to say, and the winner gets lunch provided by the loser. It's pretty cool.
Right
Okay.
on.
Ready?
Let's do it.
So man, first question. Remember, past or present. There's no like time lapse is possible. For a moment, reality doesn't exist. You can travel back in time. So you, being the artist that you are now, you are transplanted back into 1976, and they say, "Hey, by the way, you're wearing cowboy boots. This is the caveat. You're wearing cowboy boots. They want you to do on national TV, NBC at that time. They want you to do a tennis match against one of these two country legends on TV. Your opponents are Waylon." Respect, or you can go against the Man in Black, Johnny Cash, in cowboy boots, and a tennis match. We're going Waylon or Johnny Cash. Which one are you going with?
Oh man, I'm gonna go with Waylon. I'm gonna go with Waylon.
I had you, bro. I did. I really did. The cool head of lettuce, the mane. I had you, man.
Yeah.
I got you, bro. So next question. Silver Fox, great song. I think that's a amazing hit. I think it's one of your deep lyrical songs. I love it. So two of these artists say, hey, they go back into. You can either jump into the early 80s or this is early 2000s for this. Two of these artists say, hey, we'd like to take Silver Fox and ghost sing it for you. You know, a lot of ghost writers and things like that, right? So they said, we'd like to cover Silver Fox for you and put it on, country radio. Your two choices are, you can go back to the 80s and have Randy Travis cover it, or fast forward to the 2010s and have Dirk Bentley cover it for you. Who's covering Silver Fox?
Randy Travis.
Let's go, man. 2 for 2. Let's go, baby. I love it. Crushing it. Got you, man. I love it. So, question 3. They call you up and say, hey, I know you guys are going to do some studio work. We need an EP from you. The label says by March 15th, we need an EP. Here's the thing. We're doing a concept record. We need you to write an entire album. You can only talk about one of these two subjects in the concept album. Your two choices, with it being spooky season, you can write an album about pumpkins or an album about different types of washing machines. Pumpkins, washing machines, which one are you going with?
Definitely pumpkins. Definitely.
Let's go, baby. Crushing it, dude. I had you, bro. You can make a whole, you're carving a hole in my heart. We could do a bunch of crazy deep lyric. Let's go, bro. I love it, man. I love it. 2 more. They call you up and say, hey, we're doing a local kind of like local celebrity TV show, reality show, and this is going to be a hiking show. Like you're going to take a daily hike with somebody and like discover something. Maybe it's like you discover, like a abandoned gas stations or things in Texas, right? And you get to pick your co-host for this. The celebrity hiking show. Your two co-hosts for this show, you can choose from the great Kevin Hart or the amazingly talented Jamie Foxx. Who's going to be your co-host?
I'm going with Kevin Hart just because we're probably about the same height.
I love it. I love it, man. I love it. Good, good, good. So I'm 4 for 4. I'm crushing it. So last one, okay. The last one, your band, they say, hey, these two movies, we're going to fast forward rewind 2 years in time. And they call up and says, hey, we'd like you guys to play like a lot of bands do, a cameo in this movie. We want the band, Hill Country, to be in this movie. Fight scenes happening, something. You guys are playing in the background of this movie, kind of a live cameo. You can choose to be cameoed in the background of Top Gun Maverick or John Wick 4. Which one are you going with?
Oh man, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Probably Top Gun, just because John Wick's a little heavier. I
Yeah.
think I think
Yeah. Yeah.
get that cool vibe from us with Top Gun.
I got you, man. I love it. I actually had John Wick on that one. I did. I thought maybe what I was kind of thinking, honestly, dude, is the Southern Critter would kind of fit with like a fight scene. Like, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. I'm 4 for 5 though, bro. So anyway, man, that's a little segment that we have. It's called Rapid Fire. Hopefully, that's something
Heck yeah.
different than what you're used to in other interviews.
Absolutely.
So love it, dude. So, CJ, the final segment, man, something we always do in every interview with all of our artists, whether it's artists, athletes, whatever it may be. There's something we call open mic. And what this is, it's kind of like, hey, if you were to go back, maybe to give your beginning self or those listeners that would like to be you someday, maybe it's a musician, an artist, an athlete, maybe it's even a comedian, some wisdom. What would you say to those that want to be you one day?
Uh, Man, I say this a lot in interviews and stuff. Like I said, it took me a long time to break out of my shell and be able to play in front of other people. I was always nervous. I knew I could sing. I knew I could play a little bit of guitar and stuff, but I was always nervous about doing things. Um, and like I said, once I did, it was off to the races. And I try and tell people all the time, I have buddies that come up to me like, man, I want to do what you're doing, but I'm scared and all. I'm like, just do it, man. Just do it, and you're never gonna look back because once you get a taste of it, it's all
Mm,
over. Um, and I beat myself up a lot about it because this is going into year 4 for me as far as
mm,
being with the band. I did maybe 2 years of solo stuff before I joined them, and I try not to dwell on it too much, but I feel like I wasted quite some time because of my fears and stuff. So just try and get over that stuff, and once you do,
mm.
it's the best feeling,
Man, I love
so.
that. I love what you said, man. There's two things. Obviously, just do it. We always kind of look for like maybe a hashtag from the show. And it's neat too, man, because I think about if there's a critic, they're probably not doing what you're doing. So with all respect, their criticism may not be warranted. And if they are doing what you're doing, they're gonna maybe help you do it better. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I like what you said, man, about and there's something too that I feel like people should latch onto. If you're an artist or musician, when you said I knew I could play guitar and sing, you got to believe in yourself too. This whole I have kind of a cringy, I guess the kids say when someone's like, thanks, I guess I can sing okay. No, I know I can sing. I know I can play guitar. I know I can shoot a ball. I know I can throw a football. You have to know you can do it as well. And if you know that about yourself, take like what you said, take the leap. You know what I mean? Go out there and do it.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
really cool, man. So I love that. So words of wisdom, man. Definitely, there's some words of wisdom in what you're saying, and I'm glad to see the trajectory and only take it off from here. What you're doing, man. Like I said, everything you make, I have. It's one of the things to where as many platforms as we can like gobble you up. iTunes, Spotify, the vinyl. By the way, are you guys doing some vinyl? That's the last question I kind of wanted to get into. Is if you're
We
gonna do
we
vinyl.
were gonna do some with this EP that we just put out, but we decided to hold off.
Okay.
We do plan on doing uh something special with the next whatever it ends up being, whether it's an EP or an album. We
I
want
love
to
it
really do it right. We kind of dropped the ball on some stuff with this EP, but
for sure.
we're learning. So this next time we're gonna have all our ducks in a row before we release anything. So
I got you, man. Well, hopefully that next album's got that pumpkin song. It's all good. I'll take credit for it. No, I'm kidding, man. No, dude, seriously, man. In closing, thank you, CJ. It's a privilege. Let it be an open invitation, man. Down the road as you release new stuff, you have a home here. We're big supporters of what you do. We love your music. We love the passion and the realness of it. So let's make it the first of many. Please come back anytime, and I'll make sure we get this out to the world as soon as we can. Okay. So,
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
of course, brother, you're welcome to drop off, man. And thanks for your time. And you have a great day. Okay. Thanks, my friend.
You too, brother. Take it easy.
Yes, sir. So, guys, that's CJ. I'm telling you, his music, if you haven't had a chance, which you should, if you haven't listened to what he's doing right now, the rawness, the energy, the just that's country music. Again, country is about telling a story, being relatable, about really kind of also giving you like a blueprint of here's my situation, here's what I want to do to fix it. So their stuff, man, I'm telling you, whether it's Silver Fox or like I said, the Southern Crooner, 35, I could go on for days. Their music is passionate, it's raw, and it's real life. So nothing kind of speaks more about hope than knowing what you're going through, right? So love those guys. CJ, we love you, man. A complete honor. Thanks for what you're doing. That's just that was kind of one of those ones where I had to get that out to the world and everyone see it because I love what they're doing. So can't wait to see more music. Hopefully we'll catch a show locally soon and just keep rocking, guys. We love you. So that's CJ from, like I said, Hill Country Revival. We'll take a breather. We've got one more for you. We've got our buddy Scott Towery, pro angler for you fishermen out there stopping by, and that'll take us the conclusion of the day. So, as Dane would say, don't forget that we love you. Or, excuse me, I would say, don't forget that we love you. And Dane would say, thank you for listening.